So something that I'm not super excited for, because I'll be honest with you, I think it's important to be honest with your audience. Let them know where I stand. I cover the Phoenix sports landscape, and I believe my superpower in sports media, in sports talk, in podcasting, in opinions is I am able to take the fanboy glasses off. I'm able to see things for exactly what they are. I'm able to be unbiased, even if I hate it, and sometimes I do. I have to be honest with the team that I just grew up hating. I grew up hating the Los Angeles Lakers, but I've got to be honest. They might have found the steal of the draft. So there's two things here with the Los Angeles Lakers and in the Summer League as a whole. There's not much you can take from the Summer League, but I got to be honest. Dalton Knecht is the real deal, averaging 21 points a game, 41% from the field. I guess that could be a little better, but again, it's a small sample size. And basically 40% from three and 81% from the free throw line. Granted, the free throws can be a little skewed because it's the Summer League. He hasn't gotten there a ton. Dalton Knecht is awesome. And the Lakers might have gotten the steal of the draft. And if I'm being just completely honest with you, when I saw Dalton Knecht was taken by the Los Angeles Lakers, I immediately rolled my eyes in disbelief because I knew right then and there they got the perfect guy for their team. Dalton Knecht might be the fifth or fourth best Laker on this team at the end of the year. He's going to be a real playoff rotational piece. Now, can he be a star? I don't know. I'd probably lean towards no because he's a little bit older. He's a little bit at his ceiling potentially already, but his floor is very high. And when you're the Lakers, you don't necessarily need another star. Potentially he could be. I'm not ruling it out, but I'd probably lean towards no. But could he be a real rotational piece in the playoffs? Oh yeah, Dalton Knecht can be. This is a scorer, and at times can fall asleep defensively a little bit, but it's not a big deal. He perfectly complements what the Lakers do. They've got guys that can defend. They'll be fine. They need a guy that can come off the bench and potentially at some point in the season be a starter and just knock down shots. The Lakers, here's was the biggest issue with them. They didn't have a lot of shot makers. D'Angelo Russell at times was. LeBron James clearly is. Anthony Davis is, but at times we know can be a little wishy-washy. He is more of an anchor defensively, and boy, am I really impressed with Anthony Davis on the USA men's basketball team. Adding Dalton Knecht to this fold was a perfect add by the Los Angeles Lakers. Dalton Knecht can hit shots like with the best of them. He is exactly what the Los Angeles Lakers needed. Another shot maker, and LeBron James, they kind of found a middle ground. What does LeBron James not really like to do? He's not a big fan of playing with younger players. He doesn't want to help them with the learning curve, which is fine. He's LeBron James. He wants to go win championships. He's not here to teach anyone whose name isn't Bronny James, who we'll get to in just a minute. But an older player, a senior, who's closer to his ceiling than probably a lot of the other players in this draft, is exactly what the Los Angeles Lakers needed. And I say it laughing because I'm frustrated. I didn't want this to happen. I would love to see the Lakers crash and burn. But I have to be honest. That's my superpower in the sports media realm. I can take the fanboy glasses off. I can be unbiased. Dalton Knecht is that dude. He's going to be a real playoff rotational piece for this Lakers team. And picking a player in the draft is not just about talent. It's about fit. And he fits exactly what they do. No, he's not an elite defensive piece. I don't know if he ever will be. But he's a big player, and he's not going to be a complete liability defensively. And that's all the Lakers can ask on defense of Dalton Knecht. Now, what he can be is be a shot maker for this team, especially in big moments. That's what they needed from D'Angelo Russell. That's what they needed from Rui Hachimura. And they're going to get that in Dalton Knecht, a guy who's a little younger as well. It is a prime, perfect pickup for the Los Angeles Lakers, and I can't be more mad about it Because I see this guy get drafted on draft night, and I'm like, dang it. That's exactly the kind of player that works with LeBron James. That's exactly the kind of player that is going to work for this Los Angeles Lakers team. So that was my first takeaway from the Summer League, is the Los Angeles Lakers got a dude in Dalton Knecht and is going to fit seamlessly for this roster, not just for now, but for years to come. He looks like a core rotational piece on a potential championship team, whether that's with the Lakers or someone else. That's exactly what Dalton Knecht is. Looks like a young, playoff rotational, dare I say championship rotational player with his elite shot-making ability and bigger frame. It's going to work in the NBA. And here's my second takeaway. This might be obvious, but I'm just going to state the obvious. And here's what I think when life and sports kind of coexist. Bronny James will never be a star in the NBA. Never will be. I'm not so sure Bronny James can ever be the sixth man off a bench. I don't know if Bronny can ever be just a mediocre player in the NBA. And here's why. I know he had a couple of good games this week. At times when I was watching the Lakers Summer League, and I've watched a lot of Lakers Summer League, more so than my team, because the Lakers just play at better times to be able to watch them, and I'm not really in a rush to watch future mailmen play basketball, and that's what a lot of the Summer League is. But the Los Angeles Lakers, and Bronny James specifically, I don't think it's ever going to work. And I don't mean to push the eject button on a 19-year-old because I'm not rooting against the person. My fandom has always been rooting against the Lakers. Bronny James, I'm not so sure is going to work. And here's why. A lot of these NBA players have to make it. A lot of them come from less than ideal backgrounds. A lot of them come from wanting to make it out, to not just for themselves, but for their family and future families. They want to be able to get to be the person to get their family out of whatever issue it is. And basketball has that. And for a lot of these players in the NBA, we know LeBron James didn't grow up rich. We know for every Steph Curry who did grow up rich, it's a lot of LeBron James and Kevin Durant's guys who grew up just wanting to get their family out of whatever issue they're in. They couldn't fail. So the only chance they had was making it to the NBA and getting their family out of whatever bad situation it was and being the caregiver for not just their family, but for years and families to come. There was no plan B for a lot of these NBA players. There was no, well, what's going to happen if I fail in the NBA? That wasn't an option. For Bronny James, kind of an option. It's not mandatory for Bronny James to be able to achieve whatever dream he has by making it in the NBA. His father is LeBron James. It's just like starting a business. It's exactly like starting a business. The ones that succeed are the ones that are 10,000% into it and don't have any safety net under them. And understand that the only way that they will succeed in life is if this works out. They have all the regs are in this basket. And you have to be a busy bee, and you have to understand that it is work, 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 and I'll sleep when I'm dead. And that's what we've seen. Apple started off in a garage. Now one of the biggest companies in the world. There was no real chance to fail. You couldn't do anything else but succeed. Bronny James, he can fail and he'll be fine. There's a safety net. He doesn't have to work that extra hour or put in that extra film sesh. He doesn't have to. His father is LeBron James. His dad is potentially the greatest basketball player of all time. If Bronny James falls flat on his face, he'll be just fine. His father is LeBron James. He'll be taken care of. And it's why these, call it what it is, why kids and companies don't always reach their full potential because their father's the CEO. And it's why I believe Bronny James will never reach his full potential. It's why I don't ever believe he'll be a sixth man. It's why I don't ever believe he'll be a star in the NBA. Every other star, superstar, mostly in the NBA, had no absolute chance to fail. If they failed, it was game over. They had nothing else but to succeed. They had no safety net under them. It was, if I don't succeed at basketball, what is going to happen to my family? It was, if I don't succeed in basketball, will my mother ever get out of the issues that she's in? Will my family ever make it out? There was no, it's okay if I fail. It was back against the wall, balls to the wall, work, dedication, grind. It's what drove Kobe. It's what drove LeBron. It's what drove Kevin Durant. It was, there's no plan B. I have to succeed for not just me, but the people around me. Bronny James doesn't have that. Bronny James doesn't have the doubt in his mind of, if I don't succeed in the NBA, what is going to happen to me and my future families? He'll be taken care of. His father is LeBron freaking James. And so I believe when you don't have that fire in your gut of, I can't fail, what's going to happen if I do fail? I think you already have. And when your back isn't against the wall, and when you can sleep at night knowing, if this doesn't work out, I'll be fine. Or if this doesn't work out, what's going to happen to my family? That's the issue for Bronny. And that's the reason why a lot of NBA star players' kids don't work in the NBA. Because they don't have the same drive as their father did. It's because they don't have the same willingness that their father did. It's because they don't have the same no, I can't fail idea in their brain. You have to just be wired differently in the NBA. You just have to be wired differently in sports. And when you have the option to fail, you pretty much already have. And LeBron James had no options to fail. He had to succeed. Kevin Durant had to succeed. Michael Jordan had to succeed. Bronny James doesn't have that. He doesn't have to succeed. There's no, it's okay if I fail. I'll be okay. Bronny James doesn't have that. And when you compound that with the lack of skill in the sport of basketball, it's just a real issue for Bronny James. And I think when you have that mindset, whether he knows he has it or not, you've already failed. So although I think Dalton Knecht is going to be awesome, I just am genuinely out on Bronny James and his ability to succeed in the NBA. Because he has an option to fail. And his father didn't. And when you have that safety net, you just know, I don't have to work as hard. It'll all be fine for me anyways. And when you have that mentality, whether you admit it or not that you have that mentality, you've already failed. And that's where I'm at on Bronny James.